Developers and CTOs, are you tired of payment gateways with messy documentation, restrictive sandboxes, and zero flexibility? Because honestly, integrating some payment systems feels like fighting the platform instead of building your product. And that's exactly why more teams are starting to look at the developer-first solutions from Cryptomus. None of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. But let's dive into this. Here's a reality most engineering teams already know. A lot of traditional payment gateways are not built for modern developers. The documentation's outdated, the API structures feel inconsistent, and the testing environments are limited. Because of that, development becomes very unnecessarily painful. What should take hours suddenly becomes days of debugging and technical workarounds. And when you're trying to scale a product quickly, that creates technical debt fast, especially for startups, SaaS platforms, exchanges, marketplaces, or crypto-native apps where payments are part of the core infrastructure. And this is where Cryptomus positions itself differently. The platform is clearly designed with developers in mind first. Instead of cluttered documentation and confusing endpoints, the API structure feels cleaner and easier to navigate. You get organized API walkthroughs, straightforward authentication, clear webhook setup instructions, and properly structured endpoint documentation that actually makes sense. Which sounds basic, but honestly, developers know how rare that still is. Now, one of the biggest advantages here is the developer ecosystem around the API itself. Cryptomus provides SDKs for multiple programming languages, along with code examples and implementation guides that make onboarding significantly faster. But probably the most important feature for engineering teams is the dedicated testing environment. And this matters a lot because restricted or unrealistic sandbox environments are one of the biggest frustrations when integrating payment systems. With Cryptomus, teams can properly simulate transactions, test workflows, validate integrations, and stress test payment logic before even going live. Developers will also appreciate the level of control here. Instead of forcing companies into rigid payment structures, Cryptomus allows much more flexibility at the infrastructure level. You can create custom payment gateways, manage static wallets programmatically, control payment logic through API access, and scale the architecture around your own business model. That flexibility becomes extremely important for larger platforms, custom SaaS systems, marketplaces, subscription products, and crypto-native businesses. Now, why does this matter for modern teams? Well, the reality is modern development teams care about speed. They care about flexibility, clean APIs, reliable testing, fast deployment, and infrastructure they can actually customize. Because when your payment stack becomes difficult to maintain, it slows down the entire company. And that's why developer-first infrastructure is becoming a much bigger priority now. My final thoughts here is that Cryptomus feels much more aligned with how modern engineering teams actually build products today. You've got cleaner APIs, better testing environments, strong SDK support, and more control over payment architecture. And for developers, honestly, those things matter way more than flashy marketing. So for CTOs and developers, stop fighting with bad code and restrictive gateways. If you want to explore Cryptomus and check out the developer documentation for yourself, I'll leave links below. It's definitely worth taking a look at if you're building custom payment infrastructure or scaling crypto payment systems. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.